So, as the prime cockroach, so to speak, of the country today, what are your thoughts on starting this initiative? Like, what inspired you to do this?
So, Sampath, when I read the comments made by the Honorable Chief Justice of India, which compared the youth of the country with cockroaches and parasites, that somewhere did upset me. It deeply angered me. Like, how can the custodian of the constitution, which grants us free speech, can call us out for expressing our opinions and comparing us with cockroaches and parasites? Isn't he supposed to dem- uh, defend our freedom of expression? So, hurt by that, I made a tweet on Twitter. What if all cockroaches come together? Now, this was just one line written in anger against, like, because we wanted to express our opinion. So, I got a pretty good response from the Gen Z on that, and many Gen Zs, like, I got 5 to 600 replies on that from the younger generation who were saying, yes, we should all come together and express our dissent, and yeah, we should maybe form a platform. We should something do about it. This was the like overall I would say response from the younger generation that I got, and which led me to think maybe you know what here is we can do something about it by creating a maybe a parody party. So that is how I came up with the Cockroach Janta Party term, and we made the criteria to join this party. This we use the same insults made by the CJI against the youth as the criteria to join this party. So, like, he called the youth lazy, unemployed, who does nothing but is on social media. So we can kind of own that identity to express our dissent. Because if you see us as cockroaches and if you see us as someone who is lazy, unemployed, so okay, that's how we will become and express our opinion and express our dissent and will resist against whatever you are thinking and comparing us with.
But the Chief Justice later clarified that he was only referring to people who have fake degrees. He wasn't really referring to unemployed youth and so on.
Sampath, I want to ask you, isn't that make doesn't that make the situation even worse? Because again, I would like to repeat this. He's the custodian of the constitution, right? The constitution grants everybody equal rights, despite of their education, despite of their social status. Every person has the freedom of expression. That's what the constitution says. Now, Chief Justice of India is saying those who don't have formal degree, those who are not well educated shouldn't express their opinion. 60-70% of the India still lives in the rural parts. The average Indian youth who lives in the rural works as a daily wage laborer. He doesn't have a formal degree. So if he doesn't have a formal degree, can't he hold the systems accountable? Is that what we are? Is that where we are trying to get at?
Right. Abhijeet, you also been speaking of an online Gen Z conclave or conference of some kind. So, is this what are your plans in the immediate future? Is this going to be like a satirical platform for the youth of India, or is there any prospect or plan to sort of take it into a more concrete political outfit that can sort of start exerting some influence on actual politics?
Yeah. So Sampath, so as I have been speaking to these people, my friends from the Cockroach Janta Party now, they have been telling me what they need right now. They need to fix the accountability. That is their first demand, and the Cockroach Janta Party would like to do that. We would like to change the political discourse of India, and would like to make the political system more accountable. Because if you have read recently, a 17-year-old kid committed suicide who appeared in the NEET exam. He committed suicide because of the NEET paper leak. Now, this 17-year-old student could have gone to become a doctor tomorrow and who would have served the country by saving many lives. But he had to give up his own life. How tragic is that? But when we speak of accountability, what did actually happen? Did anybody resign? Did anybody took any moral responsibility of it? Where is the accountability today in India? We demand that.
Abhijit, I can see that you have a particular understanding of what's happening in India with democracy, etc. But you have all, from the beginning, you've spoken about giving a voice to articulate the concerns of the Gen Z. And here, they're mainly concerned about jobs, about livelihoods, and so on. So you must be getting tons of messages, right, from people of your generation. What kind of an understanding do those messages reflect? Do they share your understanding that democracy is under threat? Because I don't see that it is framed in that way necessarily in India. Because people are more far concerned about daily issues like, petrol, diesel, jobs, buying or not buying gold, those kinds of things. Nobody really talks about these concerns in the framework of something which comes from a threat to democracy, which is preventing you from demanding accountability. So, is this your understanding, or is this an understanding shared by a wider cohort of people from your generation, according to you?
Sampath, I feel that uh, that the situation or the condition of democracy today, the Gen Z feels the same way, the way we do, the way the some other person who is much older than us do. It's just the way you communicate or talk about it. When you look at these people, they won't be talking about articulated words like me, because I'm bit elder to them, like let's say by 4 or 5 years. So I have those vocabulary. These people's vocabulary is different. What they do, they mock. So I when I was speaking them, like, what do you think about the democracy? They're like, कौन सी democracy की बात कर रहे हो? Democracy है यहाँ. So they won't talk like me to say that, they won't bring up the necessary issues, or they won't try to explain how things are going wrong. They would rather mock it. That is their style. They would rather use dark humor to describe the situation. And that is something very new to Indian politics. Because Indian politics is not used to humor or satire or to dark humor. But it's not that they don't understand it, they don't get affected by it. They do understand it. Trust me. I have spoken to hundreds of them until now. In last 4 days, I'm trying to respond to everybody, even try to get them on calls, and they are deeply concerned about the state of democracy in India. So it would be a grave mistake to say that these young kids don't understand it. They understand it way better than anybody does. It's just that their way of communication is different, their way of expressing their concern is different, which we are not used to.
You're doing a master's in public relations. So you have started this, you've made a good name for yourself. Your future is set. What if you go back to your private life at some point and they will be left with nothing, holding the full thing?
Somebody tell me how my future is safe here. How my future is safe here.
Not safe, perhaps, but you are now, you are a brand name now, right? So,
Yeah, and we all know what comes with that. We all know. Sonam Wangchuk was a brand name. What happened? He was put in jail for 8 months. Everybody who has come forward and expressed their dissent, the reason why I'm not bringing any faces from this Cockroach Janta Party forward is because I don't want to ruin their careers. I can take that risk because I'm prepared mentally, because I've seen that for last 10 years. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of watching activists getting detained, getting arrested under UAPA, NSA for expressing their criticism. I'm tired of that. For how long are we going to live like that? So how is my life going to turn better after this? I'm pretty sure that the moment I land in India, there will be too many legal troubles for me. The reason why I have not told my family is that because I don't want to get them concerned. And to be honest, I'm very concerned about them, because I'm sitting here and they are there